Hello everyone, in this video we're going to go over the Book B, Unit 2 vocabulary words, numbers 1 through 30. Let's get started. The first word is above. Above. Above is a preposition, and the meaning of above, you can find it here. It means at, on, or to a higher place than something else. If you look at this picture, you can see the bird is above the trees, or the bird is above the cat. Above is like saying it's on top of something, but not really touching. So the bird is not touching the tree, the bird is not touching the cat, so it is above. It's higher than the other thing. And you can also find here antonyms. Antonym is the word that means the opposite. So here we have below. Below is the antonym of above. And you can see here that the cat is below the bird and below the trees. If above means higher, then the opposite is something that is lower. So we can use these words above and below. Okay, let's go on to our next word. The next word we have is across. Across. Across means from one side of something to the other side. So if you look at this picture, you can see that if I have something on this side and something on this side, we can use the word across to talk about where they are. They are opposite to each other. They are on the other side. For example, if the playground is here and the school is here, then I can say the school is across from the playground. Or I can say the playground is across from the school. We're talking about the place where something is. Remember, across is also a preposition just like above. They are words that talk about the place where something is. Our next word is adventure. Adventure. Adventure is a noun, and it means a trip or activity that is dangerous or exciting. Allie's journey to America was quite an adventure. When people take an adventure, usually they want to do something fun and something exciting. Remember, adventure is a trip, so they go somewhere and they want to do something that is dangerous or something that is exciting. So if you look at the pictures here, you can see this woman is bungee jumping. She went on a fun adventure to a different place and she did something dangerous or something exciting. Or maybe you can go on an adventure and ride a hot air balloon, or you can go on an adventure and ride a kayak. Anytime you do some activity or go on a trip that is dangerous or exciting, you can say that you had an adventure, or I had an adventure, or I went on an adventure. Our next word is bench. Bench is also a noun, and a bench is a long seat, often made of wood and without a back. In this picture, this bench does have a back, but you can also see some benches that don't have any backrest. A bench is usually something we find outside. Look at this sentence. Let's sit on this bench and look at the lake. So people who go to the park often sit down on a bench and they take some time to look around. A bench is just like a chair where you can sit down outside. And number 5 is bridge. Bridge is also a noun, and a bridge is a structure, a thing, that goes over something such as a river or a road so that people can travel from one side to the other. In the picture you can see we have some water here in the middle. So if people want to go from side A to side B, then we need something to help us cross over. That thing is a bridge. Okay, number 6, our next word is bury. Bury. Bury is a verb that means it's an action word, and it means to cover in the ground with dirt. Bury is the action of making a hole and then hiding something inside and covering it one more time with the sand or the dirt. Sometimes also when we go to the beach, it's fun to make a hole in the sand, and then we can use the sand to bury our sisters or our brothers or mom and dad. Let's look at the example sentence here. The dog buried its bone. Our next word is cable car. Cable car. Cable car is a noun, it's a thing, and cable car is an enclosed vehicle either on rails or hanging from a cable. In the picture you can see there is a cable, and the cable car is hanging from this cable. And it is pulled back and forth by a moving cable. So this car gets pulled back and forth, and people ride these cable cars usually because they want to go somewhere high. So they start at the bottom and then they want to go somewhere that's high like a mountain. So we use the cable car to go up at a faster rate than just walking. That's cable car. Our next word is clang. Clang is a verb, it's an action word, and clang means to make a clear, loud sound or ring, but it's usually talking about metal objects, metal things that are struck together, they hit together, such as this instrument. This instrument is called a cymbal, and when you hit it together, it makes a clanging sound. This word here, clanging sound. Or we can use clang to talk about maybe when two swords are hitting each other, the sound that they make is called a clang. So this word clang, again, is usually for metal objects that are hitting each other. Our next word is conductor. Conductor. Conductor is a noun. It's actually talking about the person on a train or sometimes a bus who collects payments and sells tickets. So if you look at the picture here, this conductor is going to all of the people and he's checking that all of the people have a ticket. The ticket says that it's okay for them to be on the train or the bus, that they already paid some money to get this ticket. So that means they can be on this train or on this bus. That is the job of the conductor. And number 10, the last word for this video is cross. Cross is a verb that means it's an action word, and it means to move across something from one side to the other. Now, did you see the word across here? We learned across on the previous page. It was number 1, and if you remember, across is a preposition. It's a word of place. So we did the school is across from the park. So So it's not an action. I'm not telling you to do anything. The school can't go to the park. It's just where it is. However, the word cross is an action word. So in this picture, these children, they are crossing the road. They are going from one side of the road to the other side of the road. When we are doing the action of actually moving, we can use this word cross. But when we are talking about where something is, the school is here, the park is here, so they are across from each other. Please be careful with these two words because they can be a little bit tricky. It's crowd. Crowd. Crowd is a noun, and crowd means a large number of people gathered together. The people are all together in the same place. Then we can say there is a large crowd or there is a crowd. Like this sentence, there was a crowd at the baseball game. Our next word is deep. Deep. Deep is an adjective that we can use to describe something, like the ocean or a hole. So deep means having a lot of space below or behind a certain point. Something that is reaching far down or back. So if you look at this picture here, we are in the ocean, and of course the ocean is very deep. You can't touch the bottom of the ocean with your feet. Anytime you're in water and you can't touch the bottom, you can say it is deep. The ocean is deep or the pool is deep. We can also use deep to talk about something like a hole. Can you see the man inside of the hole? He's very tiny compared to the hole. That means it's a very deep hole. Our next word is drawbridge. Drawbridge is a bridge, but it's a bridge that can be raised to allow tall ships to pass beneath. If you look at this picture, you can see this ship is too big to cross if the bridge is down. So that's why there is a drawbridge. The drawbridge can go up and it can go back down again after the boat has passed. Our next word is flashing. Flashing is when something is shining in a bright but fast way. So the light is blinking on and off, just like you would see on a police car or an ambulance. That light, we can say it is flashing. Our next word is fresh. Fresh is an adjective, so we can use it to talk about something. And fresh is something that is new or something that is clean. We can use fresh to talk about those kinds of things like this. We have a picture of some fruit over here, and the fruit are very new, so we can say they are fresh fruit. Also, you can see the boy is brushing his teeth, and after you are finished brushing your teeth, your mouth is very clean, so we can say our mouth feels fresh. Our next word is frown. Frown. Frown is the opposite of smile. Frown is the look on your face when you are unhappy or you are upset. If you look at the little girl, you can see she is not very happy. She has a frown. She has a frown on her face. Maybe she's sad or upset about something. So we can use the word frown like this. I could tell by his frown that he didn't like the food. Our next word is gather. Gather is an action word, it is a verb, and gather means to bring together into one place, to collect something. If if you look at the picture, you can see the boy is putting all of his blocks into the basket. So we can say the boy gathered the toys. Where did he gather the toys? In this basket. He put them all together in one place. In this picture also, the boy put all of his toys into this basket. So he gathered the toys. We can use gather to talk about many different things like this. We gathered the apples from under the tree. We got all the apples and we put them together. Or we can use it to talk about people too, like this. We gathered the children, so we put all of the children together and took them home. Our next word is pile. Pile is a noun, and pile means when a number of things, so many things, are on top of each other, and they make something that looks like a small hill. If you look at the pictures, in the first picture we have some books, and the books look like they are a hill, like a tiny little mountain. So we can say there is a pile of books. There is a pile of books. Or here we have some shoes. We can say there is a pile of shoes. And at the bottom, there's some toys with the robot at the top. We can say there is a pile of toys. Our next word is raise. Raise. Raise is a verb. It's an action word, and it means to move to a higher position, to move to a higher place. So in the picture, you can see the mom moved the baby up. So she raised the baby. She's picking him up from the lower place and going to the higher place. You also do it with your hands. Whenever you raise your hand, you bring your hand from the lower place and you pull it up to a higher place. That is called raise. And some synonyms are lift. You say, I lift the baby, or I lift my hand. And the opposite word, the antonym, is lower. You lower your hand, so you bring your hand down. And our last word is release. Release. Release means to let go of something. So maybe you are holding something in your hand and then you let it go. If you look at the pictures, imagine that you had this butterfly in your hand, but then you let the butterfly go. So you can say released the butterfly. Or maybe you were holding a bird in your hand and then you let the bird go. You released the bird. Same thing with balloons. If you are holding balloons, but then you open your hand and you let the balloon go, then you release the balloons. Sail. Sail. Sail is a verb. It's an action word. It's when you move over the water. So in this picture, there is a sailboat. But sail is not talking just about what this is. It's not talking about that it is a boat. Sail is the action. This boat is moving on the water. So we can say, maybe these people here in the picture, they are sailing. Also, the word sail is used to talk about this part of the boat that catches the wind. This is also called a sail. But be careful because that is a noun and our word is a verb. Our next word is screw. Screw. Screw is a metal device that holds something in place. You can see this picture of the screw here. And if you look at the chair, you can see all the spots where there is a screw. The screw is the thing that's holding the chair together, That way when you sit down, the chair doesn't just break or fall down. Our next word is shore. Shore is a noun, and shore is talking about the land beside an ocean, sea, lake, or river. Basically, this area next to the ocean, that is what we call the shore. When you're making a sentence, you can use it like this. We collected seashells along the shore, or just shells. We collected shells along the shore. Or maybe I walked along the shore. Also, be careful with the word sure. Sure and shore are very similar in sound, but their meanings are different. Sure is talking about when you say okay to something. Like, do you want more cake? Sure. But shore is what we talked about, this area where the land and the ocean are meeting. That is the shore. Please be careful when you see these two words. Our next word is sign. Sign. Sign is a noun, and it is a printed direction, notice, or warning. For this word, let's take a look at the example pictures here. When you're driving on the road, you can see many signs. There are some signs that tell you that some places are nearby, some food places. Or there's some signs that tell you that you need to be careful because something is coming as you keep going along the road. Or there are some signs that tell you how fast you can go when you're driving a car. And of course, this sign means that we need to stop. All of those are signs. Let's take a look at the example sentence here. I always obey stop signs. Obey means that you do something. You always do something. You follow the rule. So when you're driving a car, you always obey the stop sign. It means you stop when you see the stop sign. Our next word is signal. Signal. Signal is also a noun, and it is a thing or movement that gives directions, or it gives you some other information. When you are walking down the road, you can see signals that look like this. They're signals that tell you when it's okay to walk across the road or when you need to stop. Cars also have signals. They have the red light, yellow light, and green light. And those lights, they signal to the driver. They tell the driver, they give directions that it's okay to go or that they need to stop. Another kind of signal is one that you can make with your body or with your face. If you look at this woman, she's putting her finger over her mouth. And when you see this, what does it signal you to do? Well, it signals that you should be quiet or that you should talk a little bit more quietly. We make signals with our head. When you shake your head to say no, that is a signal. Or when you shake your head to say yes, that is also a signal. Our next word is squeeze. Squeeze is a verb, and it means to press firmly together. In this picture, she is pressing this lemon. She's squeezing it, and when you squeeze it, juice comes out. There's also this toy. When you squeeze the toy, then it becomes a different color. Let's look at the example sentence. He squeezed my hand in his. If you're holding someone's hand, you can squeeze the hand tighter. Our next word is travel. Travel is a verb. It's an action word, and it means to go from place to place. You can travel in an airplane. You can ride an airplane to go from one place to another place. or you can travel in a train. You can travel in cars as well. Anytime that you go somewhere, you can use the word travel. Let's take a look at the example sentence. My father traveled to many countries. It means he has gone to many countries. The synonym of travel is go. Our next word is uneasy. Uneasy is an adjective that you can use to describe someone or something. It means that you are not comfortable or that you are nervous. In this picture, this man is feeling uneasy. Maybe he is afraid of flying in an airplane, so he feels nervous or he feels a little bit scared. And sometimes we have to go to the bathroom, but there's no bathroom. So that makes you feel very uncomfortable, very uneasy. Next is the word visitor. Visitor. A visitor is someone who comes to see something or someone. In this picture, you can see the man. Maybe this house is this man's house, but this woman came to his house. So we can call her the visitor. She is coming somewhere to see something or someone. Let's take a look at the example sentence. No visitors are allowed in the hospital after 10 o'clock. Sometimes if someone is in the hospital, their family will come to see them. In that case, the family can be called visitors. Another word that we can use is guest. Guest and visitor are synonyms. And finally, the last word is worry. Worry is a verb. It means to feel fear or anxiety, to feel scared. And in this picture here, you can see there is SpongeBob, and SpongeBob is maybe taking a test, but he didn't study for his test, so he doesn't know any of the answers, and maybe he is worried that everything on his test will be wrong. Let's look at the example sentence. I worry about my children when they stay out late. If someone is a mom and their children are outside and take a long time coming back home, then that mom can feel worried. And that's all for this video. We went over the Book B, Unit 2 vocabulary words, numbers 1 through 30. Thanks for listening and see you next time.